A very good morning, sir, and class. Today, myself, Navya, along with my partners, Niharika, Harshit, Nasser, and Steffi, are going to give our demonstration about our capstone project. That's name is Implementing Web Application Pen Testing for Unibank. So, at first, I will give you a brief introduction about my project. As you all know, only penetration testing can address the rampant problems of insecure software. It is a method for discovering hidden issues and bugs in a web application. In order to protect an organization from a cyber attack, hackers typically exploit these bugs to compromise the system for personal gain. Before an actual attacker exploits a data breach, one must simulate hacker tactics and patch those vulnerabilities. Black box testing is a type of pen testing that simulates an actual attacker in order to find bugs and vulnerabilities in a web application, firewall, or network. So basically, in this project, our objective will be we will follow the inconvenience and limitations brought on by COVID-19. Unibank, a bank that has recently launched a new online application for their customers. Customers may access their accounts online around the clock, make simple transactions, manage beneficiaries, and more thanks to this web application. The bank needs us to conduct a customer driven penetration test on their web application and provide a thorough pen test report that details the testing procedures, provides proof that the vulnerability actually exists, and offers remediation guidance for quickly and accurately fixing any existing vulnerabilities.
This is a data flow diagram of the web page. So first, the user will log in into the web page after creating his account, or at the logging in, the user will be redirected to the main page, the home page, where he will have different options. Navigating to savings account, the loan details, and the quick check. So in the savings account, he can either manage his transferring of funds, he can view to his balances and other details. And in the loan details, the user can check the different types of loan and the different types of rate of interest which are applied on different types of loan and the payment of all that. And the third is quick check. So in the quick check, the user can deposit a check directly into his bank without even visiting the branch. So for that, he just need to click a photo of the check and has to fill all the details mentioned in the web page, and the amount will be deposited into the user's account.
So hi, now I'll be continuing with the development part that we have done for our project. So here we have the code for our development. And if you see, okay, so if you see, we have the .php files, the .sql files and all that, the CSS fonts, all the files here. So first, I'll be just explaining what all these files are and how we have connected to the server and all that. Okay. So if you see the .php files, we have like the signup.php, page.php, config.php, accounts.php, and all that. If you take the signup.php file, basically the php.php files are just like a plain text file, okay? And it contains the source code, which is written in the PHP format also. And it is actually used to develop the web applications that are processed by the PHP engine on the web server. And if you see here, we have the username, full name, and many different functionalities here, which is actually for signing up function. Why we're using a signing up function is that whenever we are taking the page of our bank, we'll not have, like, if you're not an existing user, you'll need to create a new account, right? So in that case, you need to sign up by giving all your details, the essential details like the full name, and you need to have a username for your account, and you need to give a password for your account. So such functionalities are being held up in this signup.php file. And if you go for the next one, it is the page.php. The page.php is actually nothing but it's just to show like what all things are there whenever it's just for it's just normal for all the pages, like whatever page or whatever site you're going into, you'll have the information about that particular page and the accounts, the checks, the loans, which are different functionalities. And we have already discussed all these functionalities in our design part, and which was explained by Navya before. And these are the different functionalities that we have in our page. Okay, so that is the page.php file that we have here. And if I talk about the config.php, it is just to give the privileges. Okay, so this will be shown in my demo, like no, I mean, I'll show how this works when we're connecting to MySQL later. And this is just like the database user, the database user password, the company name. All these are just to set up the privileges. That is why we have the config.php. And we have the accounts.php also here. This is like to check. This is a check that is happening there. Like if you are giving some wrong username and password and trying to sign in, it'll show you that it's you're not an existing user or the login failed. So it is just like the checking happening there. And if you come here, you have the index.php file also, where we have the um, savings account, the loans, the quick checks. These are the different functionalities that you see when you go into the page. When you are opening our page, these are the different functionalities that you'll see. Okay, the different informations, like if you want to know something about the quick checks, if you want to know something about the loans, if you want to know something about the savings account, you can get the details about it from here. So that is why we have the index page, which is the index page that we are seeing when we are opening our site. Okay, so we also have the .sql file here. And if I take in that, okay, so why we have a .sql file is because it is just the structured query language, as you all know, which is actually the code to work on the relational databases. So whatever information that we are giving in, whatever information we are trying to store or trying to check, it will directly go to the database, the server side. Okay, so from the front end, it will go to the back end and search for the information. If you are trying to log in or if you're trying to sign up, it will just go and take all the information and store it in the database. So this is actually to connect with the database, okay, from the front end. And it is actually all the CRUD operations written here, which is the create table, the insert table, update options, all of that you have here. So these are the different query languages. Like if you know the query languages, so these are different queries that we use. And so if we have a table, we are creating rows in that table, and then we have different functionalities for that. And we are entering, if my name is like, if I have a name, if I have a like the balance amount, I have different values for each of that. And whatever I'm giving, like the name, if I'm giving Steffi, and the account, I mean the balance I'm giving as 25, my name Steffi will be stored in that particular name, like the column which has the name, and the balance, my if my balance is 10 or something like that, it will be directly stored to the column balance. Okay, that's how the database works in. And this is pretty much about, yeah. And also we have the CSS and the fonts file, which is used for styling, because it's always about the look and feel, right? So that is always your first impression when you go to a page. So that is why we have the CSS and fonts file, which is for the styling purposes. Okay, so now I'll move into the demo of our project. Okay, now I have here a demo of our project, and then I'll be just explaining what are the things, like I have explained what each files are and what are the basic backend programming that we have done. So as we go through the demo, I'll be just like trying to relate each of them, like.
This video is continuation of our previous video wherein we have deployed our vulnerable web application, and now we will be testing our web application with a vulnerability scanner. In this vulnerability scanner, we have bundled multiple tools such as Nmap, Nikto, subdomain scanners such as Fierce, and many more. I've cloned my tool from my repository, and now I'm using this tool over Metasploitable machine by entering its IP address. As you can see, it's checking whatever tools are available in my Linux system. It will be using those tools to find vulnerabilities in that Metasploitable machine. At the very start of the scan, we found one vulnerability with threat level low, which states some issues were found in HTTP options. It also stated the definition and the remediation for that vulnerability. It found an XSS vulnerability protection which is not presented in the website. It has given a definition that how this vulnerability can be exploited and how it can be remediated in the particular web application. It's deploying multiple payloads in order to find known vulnerabilities. As you can see in the screen, it's checking for XSS, SQL, uh, and other vulnerabilities. It's also making use of Necto to perform SSL checks. It's making use of Uniscan to check for robot.txt files or and other directories hidden in a web application. It found a subdomain by using a tool named Fears. Finding a subdomains can be a vulnerability because because it can act as an attack vector for an attacker. It's deploying about 80 payloads. It also found some more subdomains with tool named AMAS. Now that our vulnerability scan is complete, it has given a summarized table wherein it states how many vulnerabilities were checked, how many vulnerabilities were detected, and how much time it took to find those vulnerabilities. It deploys all the scanning results into a VULN file wherein you can see the detailed report of the file. Here is the report of Metasploitable machine, wherein these are directories which were found while fuzzing the web application.